Hey y'all, I'm Jen,
And I'm Em,
and welcome to In My Haunted Era.
a podcast where we talk about all things spooky or scary or unsolved or terrestrial,
Terrestrial.
extraterrestrial. Yeah, so I hope you're ready and let's talk about some spooky shit.
Yeah, you got your ghosty shirt on.
I do.
I love it.
So this is actually, I don't know if anyone will know. If you do, great, let me know. But there was a show on Netflix called Julie and the Phantoms,
Uh-huh.
and it was a boy band that were ghosts. And so this is from that show.
Is it really?
Yeah, it was like a comfort watch in
I love
2020.
that.
Cutie little like, boy
Yeah.
band ghosties, and there was like a romance and really good
Oh.
music. Actually, 2020, my Spotify Wrapped,
Uh-huh.
Julie and the Phantoms. I think it was Julie and the Phantoms. It was one of my top albums played.
That's so funny. I've never heard of that show.
Oh, it's so good. Very much loved. Yeah, Julie and the Phantoms on
Oh.
Netflix. It's still there.
Oh.
If you've watched it and you're listening, let me know. I miss it. And it was robbed of a second season.
Was it
Um,
really?
Directed by Kenny Ortega, who hands down my favorite director ever.
I don't know
He's
that person.
Oh my God, he did Hocus Pocus. He did High School
Oh.
Musical.
Oh God.
I think he choreographed the Cheetah Girls.
The
Oh,
Cheetah
he did
Girls.
Dirty Dancing.
Okay.
Yeah, Kenny
Okay.
Ortega is where it's at.
He's got a
So
resume.
for sure.
He's got a
So he
resume.
did Julie and the Phantoms, and I miss
Oh,
it very much. But that's where the shirt's from. My little ghost
oh,
voice.
I like it. Very
Yeah,
appropriate
I
for the
thought so.
podcast.
I thought
Yeah,
so.
full circle. How
Yeah.
are you doing today?
I'm good. It's Monday. We're recording on a Monday.
It's a Monday.
Um, Work was a lot. It's always a lot, but
Yeah,
fulfilling work.
that's good.
So
That's
yeah,
that's important. That's
yeah.
fulfilling.
How are you?
Same. Work is also a lot, but fulfilling. So that's good. But
Good.
now I'm like, I leave work, which is, I mean, the nature of my work is relatively stressful,
Oh,
right? You have to be
100%.
on your toes, like ahead of things, on top of what's going on with your patients and on the lookout for danger, right? So you're at a baseline level of stress. I mean, it's not noticeable. I've been doing this for so long, but it's there, right? And now we're trying to hustle and move out of the house this week. So we're just going to work and then coming back home and just not getting a break, really, just trying
Uh-huh.
to like constantly pack and clean and pack and clean, and then also parent is, it's been very stressful. It feels like
Yeah.
the trip we went on was years ago. It
Oh.
feels like it was years ago.
Oh
And
no.
like I mean, it was not like the trip itself. Our UK trip was relaxing. I wouldn't say that, because I mean, the itinerary was tight.
It was a
It
travel
was
trip. It
packed
wasn't.
and tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
were seeing things, we were driving, we were going places. The
The
nature of
best.
it was also kind of baseline stressful.
Yeah.
So, stressful month. But
Yeah.
I started junk journaling. Have you ever heard of that?
My God, yes.
Are you a junk journaler?
I am not officially, but I
Uh-huh.
feel like a lot of my journaling does end up being that way because I just save a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I
I
save
save
everything.
trash.
Yeah.
And so just stick it in the page. I don't do anything cutesy with it. I probably
Uh-huh.
should,
Oh,
but
you should.
I love the idea of just like keeping stuff and then like having a place for
Hmm.
it. I just keep stuff and it's just stuck in places.
Yeah. I save everything, like any kind of paper I get from somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
like your playbill from your play. I'm gonna do a page on that because I have the stuff. We took a picture. I have bought 3 photo printers. Well, I already had one, but I have, like, the little one. So I have the Instax Mini. So I already had
Yeah.
that one. And I had bought that one to make Caroline's little display box I made for her Taylor Swift from when we went to the Airs tour. So I made
Cute.
a little display box frame that had our surprise songs in it and photos of us, and then all of the friendship bracelets she got in there, and like the
Oh.
confetti and stuff. So I bought that then. And then I was like, I kind of want one that's just a full photo, not with the white part at the bottom. So I bought a Fujifilm one. And then I shouldn't have bought that one so quick, although that's a really great printer and I highly recommend it. Then I saw another one, the HP Sprocket. It's a sticker
I've
printer.
seen, yes, I've seen
So
these.
I bought the sticker printer. So now I have 3 printers.
Love it.
I have spent an unknown amount. I
Don't
refuse to total
don't add
on
it.
junk journaling supplies like cute paper, stickers, stamps. Like it's a it's definitely Kevin calls it a hyperfixation, and he's not wrong, but I feel like this is a very sustainable one because it
Yeah.
fills me with so much joy. I've been finding stuff in my office that like little papers and things I've saved, cards I've saved, things that the kids have drawn me, things that patients have given me, and made
Oh.
so many different. It's just like such a fun way to remember everything
Mhm.
and display it where it's not just in a box that
Mhm.
you're never going to look at. You're never going to go through a
Yeah.
box of receipts or random papers. Like you might once every few years when you're moving, right? Just
Yeah.
to see what's in this box. Do we need everything? But this is such a cool way. And I started a travel journal while we were on our trip because we're doing so much stuff. I don't want to forget what we're doing. And we're getting lots of things, lots of papers and things and tickets
Yeah.
and ticket stubs and maps and whatever. And so I made one for that, and I didn't know what junk journaling was. I was just journaling everything we did and then also putting all that stuff in it,
Yeah.
and then realized it was this whole thing, and now I'm like, oh, I'm so in.
Yeah. I love that they like because you get a journal and it's flat, right? And then you
Yeah,
fill it and so it doesn't
it's
close like
like,
all the way. I
yeah,
love
my junk
that.
journal is like this big. I should have
Cute.
grabbed it. But yeah, it's like yay big now, and I put
Aw.
so much stuff in it, and I was so proud of it, and I was like, I got to keep this going. I just enjoyed the journaling aspect of it too.
Yeah, and there's no
So
pressure. Like the
there's
junk
no
journal I like
pressure.
because I have people who are I'm in a book club
Yeah.
and there's a one of our members like she does the most beautiful like reading logs, right, with calligraphy and
Oh,
what is she called?
calligraphy.
Bullet journaling. And like
Yes.
she actually bought a thermal printer and I really want a thermal printer.
Oh,
We
I
were
have
just
a
talking about
thermal
all this.
printer too.
Oh, I want one so bad. But
They're so cheap.
she was looking at everything or like showing me everything and I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "It's so beautiful." But like, I don't think I have the patience. I don't think I have the time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And I'm not moving and I don't have kids, so I
Yeah,
can't.
no, yeah. I have wasted a lot of time doing junk journaling last week, but I
It's
got
not a waste.
it's not a waste, and it's been really fun, and yeah, I've just been really enjoying doing that as a creative outlet. And then I bought a separate journal just to like journal, write
Yes,
about stuff,
of
feelings,
course.
whatever that I don't want in my junk journal. Like
Yeah. Keep
not
it
that
separate.
I'll still write things in it, but this is for like this bitch.
Your what is it, burn book?
Yeah, this is a burn book
Yeah.
level like feelings journal. But yeah, so I've just been doing a lot of that and a lot of packing lately.
Yeah.
But the junk journal has been a good source during this stressful time.
So is this your last week in your house?
That is our goal. We
Okay.
technically have until the end of May to move out, but they
Oh,
keep
okay.
telling us that like, they need to show the house
Mm-hmm.
because it's a rental. So they need to show it to prospective renters. And it's just such a mess. There's boxes everywhere. And I'm like, it would just be easier if we could just get out of here, get all
I
of our
get
stuff
that.
out, have it cleaned, and then we don't have to worry about people coming in while we're still packing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I sleep on the weekends during the day, so it's hard for them to show the house then. So we're just like we're almost done. Kevin has moved so much stuff over as we've been packing. He'll just take loads over every day to the
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
house. So we think we could get out of here by the end of this weekend.
That's
So
great.
if you guys are free this weekend and you want to move some stuff,
So I
some
was gonna say
furniture,
what's so funny is
Steven's free.
what's so funny is so my sister's name is Jen. I don't know if we've
Hmm.
covered that or Jennifer.
Yeah.
They are also moving. So
Oh,
they built a new house and they are like already had renters who are going to rent their home that they're in now. And this is their last week there. So we were
oh my
helping them
gosh.
this past weekend. And then they're supposed to, like, their renters are supposed to move in on May 1st, which is like in a couple of days. And I
Yeah.
was there over there this weekend. I was like, are y'all going to be able to do that? So it's just funny. It's just a season of change and a season of move
Season of
for the gens
change.
in my life.
All the gens are moving.
All the
Yeah.
gens.
Big
Yeah.
changes. So,
Yeah.
but it'll be nice to just be in the house and have more space. I can't wait to just be able to spread out a little bit. Everybody spread out. Like
Yeah. And you're
we're
just living
all
out of
very
boxes and
close.
bags, and
Yeah,
that's a
I
lot.
know. Yeah, I packed up all my bathroom, and so I'm living out of, travel bag. And then I have
Oh.
like a little box of other things that don't fit in a travel bag, like hairspray,
Mhm.
whatever,
Dang.
curling irons and stuff. And so it's just like, and then we're traveling for like 17 days, so it's just been a lot of non-traditional living
Yeah.
lately. But
It's a season and it'll
yeah,
change and it'll be
it'll
good.
pass. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of houses. I'm going first, right? This
Yeah.
episode. Well, let's talk about moving. Got me to research the Tallman house haunting.
Oh my gosh, I
I
love a
also
house haunting.
I also went, okay, so when I was a kid and I'd stay home from school, I would watch Unsolved Mysteries.
I
Like
love that.
I didn't watch, what is it? Price is Right and stuff.
Hmm.
Like all my friends were like, "Oh, when I am sick, I watch Price is Right." I was like, "Oh, I watch Unsolved Mysteries and it." And like I was like, "I don't know what you're talking." I didn't know what Full
You're a
House
creepy
was for a
kid.
while.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't. So, anyway, the Tallman house is actually featured in Unsolved Mysteries.
Okay.
And so it just has, yeah, so I think it's a really good segue, like your move
Yeah, that's
into this.
perfect.
So I'm gonna take you guys back to the 1980s. I was not alive.
I was not here either.
But it's a sleepy little town in Wisconsin, and this seemingly normal family found themselves living in one of the most terrifying haunted house stories that you've probably ever heard.
I'm so excited.
So this is the Tallman haunted house. Um, okay, so this young couple, Alan and Debbie Tallman, lived in a quiet little neighborhood in Horicon, Wisconsin.
Okay.
It's tiny, no nonsense kind of town. Lots of farming and small businesses, like
Hmm.
church on Sundays. Like you get the idea.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
Classic
exactly,
American
yeah, like
small
Midwest.
town
Isn't it
life.
Wisconsin
Yeah.
considered Midwest? Right.
Yeah, I
So
think so.
yeah, picture that in the 80s, all right? It's
Yeah.
not exactly the place you'd expect like to find poltergeists running around.
No.
And the Tallmans had three young children, and they were living in a modest one-story home,
Hmm.
and they were normal, hardworking people. Ellen was working second shift, and Debbie was taking care of the house and kids. So no history of anything weird happening before they moved into this house.
Hmm.
No grisly murders, no witch burials on the land, just a plain suburban house
Hmm.
on Larrabee Street.
Okay.
But everything started to go south after they bought, you'll never guess, after they bought a secondhand bunk bed. So
A
please,
second-hand bunk bed.
please, yes, please do not buy a bunk bed for your
Oh
kiddos.
my God.
But
Oh,
yes,
I've heard the story before. The bunk
no.
bed, but I don't know. I don't remember at all what happens. But the bunk bed is triggering something in my memory.
Oh, and you're actually one of your kiddos does have a bunk bed,
We
right?
have a bunk bed.
Yeah, okay, but
I feel like if we sell our bunk bed, it's more
oh my
likely to be we
gosh.
might haunt somebody else because there's some weird shit in this house for sure.
Oh man. So yeah, they had this old wooden bunk bed that was picked up by Alan at a thrift store in 1987. And the family was trying to be practical. They just needed more space for the kids and thought, like, why not a bunk bed? Almost immediately after they bought it and brought it into their home, things got super weird.
Oh my gosh, that's
First,
fast.
yeah, first the kids started to get really, really sick, like
Oh,
fevers, infections. It was like just one thing after another.
wow.
And they also began waking up in the middle of the night screaming about monsters in their room. Mind you, hadn't happened before they
Yeah,
had the bunk bed.
yeah,
And then, so they, like, at first the Tallmans figure just it's a new bed, it's a new
yeah.
environment.
New
Maybe
change
having, yeah,
affects them differently. Yeah,
maybe they're just having like nightmares. It's no big
yeah.
deal. But they were wrong. Things just started to escalate. Two doors started slamming shut by themselves. Radio in the house would turn on all by itself at full volume, but not just playing like static or regular music. It was
Yeah.
blasting like violently at full volume.
Oh my God.
And then one night, Alan was working late because I said he worked second shift, right?
Yeah.
Debbie swore she saw a dark figure lurking down the hallway,
Oh, that gave me chills.
just standing there, like just looking at her. I'm
I don't
like,
like it. I don't like
by
it.
yourself? That's the yeah.
Oh God.
But it didn't stop there. The Tallman children said they saw an old woman with long black hair in their bedroom.
God.
She would appear and then vanish before their eyes. And it wasn't just the kids. Alan and Debbie started witnessing the same kind of thing with glowing red eyes staring at them from the hallway and
Fuck that.
yes, and shadow figures moving from room to room.
No.
So fucking terrifying.
No.
So one night, this is probably the scariest night for this family when they said, okay, we don't want to fuck around and we're not going to find out.
Yeah.
One night, Alan came home from work around 2 or 3 a.m. He was really, really exhausted. And as he
Hmm.
walked to the house, he heard a voice that was deep and growling, coming from the garage saying, "Come here." I can't.
That is a no from me, dog.
Oh And I'm like, why would you go? So he went
Yeah.
out to investigate, which is a big no.
This is white people thing. This is white people
It's
shit.
white people.
It's what Kendra would call white people shit.
I will have you okay, speaking of white, have you seen Sinners? No,
No.
you've been really fucking busy. We'll talk about Sinners later.
Okay.
Okay. So he went to investigate, this growling voice saying, "Come here." The entire garage was on fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So freaking out, he ran and grabbed the extinguisher, but when he got
Yeah.
back, there was nothing. No fire, no smoke, just the smell of something burning like heavy in the air.
Like it smelled like something had burned. Like
But
something was
nothing was
previously
there.
on fire, but there was no evidence of an actual
But
fire.
he had seen it. He had gone to the garage, saw
Yeah.
the fire, left, came back,
Oh my
gone. And it was just
God.
like this heavy smell of smoke.
That's horrifying.
So at this point, Alan, who was considered rational, hardworking, no nonsense type of guy, the last person that anyone would expect to believe in ghosts, realized that they were dealing with something way beyond anything he could explain.
Yeah.
They brought in a pastor, hoping to bless the house and get rid of whatever was haunting them. But even after the blessings, the activity just got worse, bro.
Oh, no.
The final straw came when one of their daughters was physically attacked. She was
Yeah.
thrown out of her bed by some invisible force and just hurled across the room.
Yeah. I would get Mama Bear would come right out.
I'm sure.
Mama Bear, now you're fucking with my kids? That's where the line is drawn. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, poor thing. And then after that, yeah, like you said, Mama Bear, Alan and Debbie were just done after that. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, you fucked around with my kid, you hurt my
Yeah.
kid, we're done.
You cross many lines, but this is the hard line you cannot cross.
Made me feel crazy.
Yeah.
Gaslit me.
Yeah.
But this is it.
I'm about to sage your ass into oblivion, okay?
Yeah. I wonder what the pastor thought. But anyway, they brought on all this stuff. But yeah, so after their kiddo was thrown across the room, they packed up their house and just fled that very same night, leaving everything behind in the house.
Oh my gosh.
And then here's the crazy part. When they told the town what was going on, instead of people brushing them off as crazy, they 100% believed them.
That's a surprise.
Yeah. And I think it's because they were so, I don't want to say bland, but
yeah.
I mean, they weren't ones to make stuff up.
Yeah.
So, but also neighbors told them that they had seen strange lights around the house, like flashing, colorful lights coming from the windows when nobody was home.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank God they saw that, or I wonder if they would have been less inclined to believe them.
Right? So
Thank God.
And then some local kiddos who had dared each other to sneak onto the property said that they heard voices screaming at them to get out.
Oh my God.
So these people come with this seemingly like irrational thing.
Yeah.
But everyone around them is like, yes, we get it. We've seen it. We've heard it.
We've seen some shit.
So the Tallmans eventually sold their house, but not without warning the next owners.
Yeah.
So in fact, after the story went public, the Tallman haunting gained so much attention that it caught the eye of national media. One of the biggest moments for the Tallman story was when it was featured on the TV show Unsolved Mysteries in 1988. Hosted by legendary Robert Stack, which is what young Emily would watch when she stayed home from school. And it would freak me out sometimes because, I was old enough to be left alone.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh God.
Bed haunted.
And so the show aired a dramatized reenactment of the events, although interestingly, they did not reveal the Tallman's real names at the time. They were extremely cautious about protecting their privacy, and Alan and Debbie did not want fame. They just wanted peace.
Yeah.
After the Unsolved Mysteries segment, the legend of the haunted bunk bed exploded. People started calling it the bunk bed from hell. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some people claimed Satan himself was behind it.
Of course he was.
He's behind everything.
He always is.
Others said the bunk bed had been built on wood, or from wood, from a haunted forest, or from wood that had been cursed, which I could believe.
Yeah.
For the record, there is no actual evidence that the bunk bed had any strange origin. It was just a secondhand piece of furniture.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of spooky.
Yeah.
And then after the Tallmans moved and got rid of the bunk bed, they burned it, by the way.
Smart.
And after they burned it, they never experienced another haunting again.
So they moved and they got rid of the bunk bed.
Yeah, they said, we're not fucking around.
Why didn't they just try the bunk bed first?
I don't know.
See what happens.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not judging them, but it just seems like, let's do the least invasive thing first.
But, I wonder, too, if they had thought that, how we talk about how, stone and walls, have memory.
Yeah.
So if it had started from a bunk bed and had started going to the garage, going to the
Yeah.
hallway. Maybe they were just like,
It could have
it's,
permeated the house.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
fair. That's
I
fair.
don't blame them.
No.
But yeah, it seems like I would have done the opposite. I would have probably burned the bunk beds,
Yeah.
seen what had
Just see what
happened.
happens. Yeah. Give it a second.
You
Let it
know,
cook.
moving
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Moving sucks, man.
Moving is really tough. But yeah, so once they destroyed that bunk bed, everything was fine. It was like evil itself had attached itself to that bed. And then
Wow.
once they destroyed it, it just vanished.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there were no poltergeists after that, no shadow figures, no strange voices. So there is like, of course, there's always gonna be skeptics. Some
Hmm.
skeptics say that maybe it was just mass hysteria, stress.
I always say that
I
shit.
know, and I'm like, I would, y'all, I would have been committed, no doubt. Had this
Yeah.
been, if this was 1960s, y'all wouldn't be talking, hearing me right now. I'd be in a
Yeah.
hospital.
I'd be in a, yeah. I would have a lobotomy and
Yeah,
I'd be,
100%.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, y'all read the
be
bell jar?
catatonic. Yeah.
So, but yeah, or they some people say it could have been sleep paralysis, but I was like,
She
for
got thrown from a
everyone,
bed.
everyone in the family,
And
yeah.
all of these events happened when they weren't asleep. Like he had come
Mm-hmm.
home from work and saw the fire in the garage. He wasn't. What
Yeah,
does sleep paralysis have to do with that?
they did say overworked parents and scared children amplifying the fears, but
I'm sure that like intensified whatever what
yeah,
was going on. But
I so and also we have to think about the fact that multiple people outside of the family witnessed weird things at that house
yeah,
too. So police officers actually responded to calls at the Tallman house,
yeah,
and they refused to go back there after a couple of times. So policemen weren't going willingly back to that house.
yeah.
And the Tallmans never sought to make a dime off of their story. They
That's
refused interviews. They
yeah.
refused book deals, no movies, no merchandise. They just really wanted to be left alone after
They
that,
wanted to be done.
which to me
I
makes the story even creepier because they must have really been spooked, like, to their
They must have
core.
been really scared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's so true.
if you're making it up, like, for money or for fame, you want that
Hmm.
attention, but if you just want it to go away, like,
Yeah, it's like we just want to forget this ever happened, and
those poor
like we don't want to
kids.
bring any more attention to it, in hopes that it doesn't come
Mm-mm.
back.
Yeah. So,
That's so scary.
haunted bunk beds, shadow people,
Damn.
phantom fires, and a family forced to abandon their home to escape whatever force had taken over. And whether you believe in ghosts or not, the Tallman haunting is one of the eeriest examples of a haunting tied to one single object. And I'm sad that they
Yeah.
burned it because I really wish that it was,
The shit.
like your sapphire had been like
Yes.
preserved and then like
Mm-hmm.
studied.
Zach
So,
Bagans, if he had been around then, he would have bought that bunk bed for his museum. Hands
yeah.
down.
Yeah. So
That
just
is a
like
shame.
keep this in mind next time you're looking for, thrift shop
Yeah, you're
finds or
on the marketplace.
Facebook
I know.
Marketplace.
I've been looking on the marketplace for a lot of stuff because I want to get some more furniture for like the playroom and
Oh
like the media
yeah.
room upstairs. And I'm like, I'm not gonna buy anything new. There's so much shit on the marketplace, but there's always a risk. You never know what happened in the home where that object was previously.
Yeah. So this made me want to tell y'all about because now they're not going to be at that home anymore, so I feel
Hmm.
comfortable saying it. We fully believe that my sister's house is haunted, like
Oh
my
my
mom and
God.
I.
Tell
Um,
me everything.
so yeah, this story really also made me think of like my family situation because it was in my nephew's room. My
Hmm.
nephew, who's now 10, but at the time he was a baby. He was still like in a crib.
Yeah.
And my mom, she has helped raise him like since he was a newborn to now.
Yeah.
And she would go over every morning, help, like with the baby, and then go in the afternoon and, all this stuff. So she was there a lot.
Yeah.
And at one point, they had like a video monitor. And it was like, I can't remember. Like, my sister and her husband were like, oh, we need to go check on Caden, is my nephew's
Hmm.
name. Sorry, maybe I should have made up a name, but his name is Caden.
Hayden. Yeah.
And they look at the monitor and they see like the figure of a woman in like a white nightgown up there. And they're sleepy at the time and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, your mom must have come early." But it wasn't my mom. Like
What was
she
the
then
figure doing?
looking over the crib
Oh my God.
into my nephew's crib. So then like my mom got there and they're like, "Oh my God, like we thought that that was you upstairs already."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, whatever. We're just like we're tired or
Yeah. Maybe
something."
we saw something.
Yeah, so they just I mean, they were all there's a newborn and like
Yeah.
they were sleep deprived
Yeah.
and
They're
so all this. So
exhausted.
like nothing really happened with after that. But then, then my mom saw the figure on the baby monitor again. She saw a woman in white looking into my nephew's crib, and this was months after, and she freaked the fuck out. And she called like everybody. She didn't want to go over for a while. And she was like, I don't think that this like whatever entity is like wanting any harm done. I think that it's solely just watching Kaden. But she was like, but I don't like it.
I don't want anything to do with it.
So we were like, yeah, that's really freaky, Mom. And then my sister and her husband were like, okay, like maybe we didn't make that up. Maybe there was really
Yeah.
something there.
Yeah.
So I don't really know, like, what they didn't really do anything after. It's not like we
Yeah.
hired a pastor. We didn't do like sage or holy water or nothing. But
Yeah.
it was just sort of this acceptance of like, okay, if there's a spirit here, it doesn't mean any harm.
Yeah.
And it's just watching our child.
Yeah.
And, so it's going to be fine. But my mom swears when she talks about that house, she's like, I don't like it. There's something in there. She's like, I don't
And
know
your
if it was,
mom is the one that felt the vibes at Gettysburg,
yeah,
right?
she's
And like your
very,
mom's very intuitive, sensitive to that
yeah.
kind of stuff, it sounds like.
She's like, I don't know if this house was built on a burial ground or something. She's like, but I don't like it. So I think
You
she's
know,
really looking forward to not having to go back to
oh,
that
I believe
home.
it. I wonder if maybe it was a family member, like a deceased family
Mm,
member watching
not
over,
really.
or maybe somebody who lived there in the past that
Mm-hmm.
just still had some energy there and they were just kind of a more protective spirit. But it could have been just a family member or somebody just kind of watching over the baby
Yeah,
if they were
I think
never
that's
if
kind
they
of
never,
like the piece we've come with.
yeah,
Because my sister, like it was a real struggle to get pregnant. And so there was a lot of energy already there
yeah,
from like their journey.
yeah.
And it very well could have been
Somebody
some
watching
guardian.
since,
Yeah,
yeah, since
yeah.
they had such a hard time getting pregnant, like they want to make sure that the baby's okay.
Yeah, and then when the twins were born, it was just Caden's room. It wasn't the twins' room.
Yeah,
So it was almost just kind of like, okay, like, it was just weird. And so we
that
joke
is so
about
weird.
I know we joke on here about a lady in white, but
Yeah.
my family jokes about we say the woman in white and at my sister's house. And my mom's like, oh, don't talk about that.
Oh my
She's
God.
like, don't joke. I'm
We don't
like,
joke
okay.
about that. That shit's real. Man, I wish I would have known about it. I would have grabbed my dowsing rods and headed on
They would
over.
have been like, no, what are you talking about?
Get the
Don't.
Ouija board.
Oh
Bring
my
a Ouija
God,
board
they
over.
won't let me have a Ouija board. My husband won't let me have a Ouija board. My mama won't let me have a Ouija board. I'm like, I need a Ouija board. I'm gonna
Don't worry.
get.
I'm gonna buy you a Ouija board.
Yeah, what's he gonna do? Tell me I can't
Yeah.
accept a gift.
Yeah.
I
You can buy them at Target. Come on.
said you can get them in pink.
You can get them in
So
pink.
how
Yeah.
scary can that be?
How scary can it be? And it's all about how you use it,
Yeah, I'm
too.
not gonna be like
You got to be safe.
summoning the devil. I
Yeah,
just want to
you
be
got to
like,
follow rules. You don't go on there. Have I told you the story about the Ouija board with one of my old coworkers?
did you take it to work?
Okay, we took it to work. Okay. So it was early 2021, probably February, March. And I worked in a cardiovascular ICU at a big
Oh,
hospital in Dallas. And we had a lot of patients with COVID on ECMO, that's kind of the job I do now. But then I was just an ICU nurse. So I took care of those ECMO patients from the nursing perspective. But so we had a lot of patients on ECMO during that time, and a lot of them passed away. And then the nature of our unit itself, it was very high acuity, which just means there's a lot of sick patients that need a lot of nursing care. Um, and so we did have a lot of deaths generally. And there was like an area of the unit that it was like kind of corner down a hallway. So this was where we would keep a lot of really sick patients. And that was where all the COVID patients were. So there were a couple patients that we had that were just like not notorious, but their stories or experiences there were just odd. Like one lady, because of her religious beliefs, had brought an onion into the room because she felt like that would
get the
that would
toxins out.
yeah, it would help heal him. And I'm pretty sure this guy ended up having like a bleed in his brain. He was not coming back from it on top of the COVID on ECMO. But so she didn't tell anybody about this. And so the onion started rotting, and then there were gnats everywhere, like outside this room. So there was a lot of
Oh my God.
random situations like that happened in these rooms, right? So one night we're all sitting there and we're talking about, I wonder if so and so is still hanging out ghost wise. And there's been so much death in this corner. We should bring a Ouija board. And so one of my coworkers was on Amazon. He ordered it. It'll be here by 2 p.m. And we all come back the next
Same day
night.
shipping.
Yeah, same day shift. We're like, this is like a midnight conversation. We're working night shift. So he's like, it'll be here by 2 p.m. I'll bring it tomorrow night.
I
So
love
we bring
that.
it. And mostly we're doing it to fuck with a coworker. Cause she's like, no, do not bring
Yeah, like,
bring the Ouija board. I don't fuck with Ouija boards. Like, do not bring that. And we're like, we're bringing a fucking Ouija board. And
I'm a
so
grown up.
yeah, we bring the Ouija board the next night. We don't tell her. And she's one of the ECMO specialists. So we set it up in the ECMO office. And one of the other ones tricks her into going to get a soda while we set it up. And then she leads her back into it like casually, like, oh, I need to go grab something from the office. Come with me. And she walks in, sees the Ouija board set up, and she walks out. She's like, nope, 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 I'm not doing that. She got so mad she wouldn't sit next to us the rest of the night. But so we get the Ouija board back over to the area where we're working. And so I'm calling everybody because at that time, I'm too scared to play Ouija board. Now, actually, I have a mini Ouija board in my backpack and I've used a Ouija board at work.
I want a
But
mini one.
yeah, I have a cursed mini one too. But
Look, Amazon it right now.
dude, get a little one. And so we bring it over and I'm too scared at this point. I'm a little pussy bitch. I won't play it. So I'm calling all the other nurses being like, hey, come play Ouija board. Everybody says no. We almost get one girl. And then the other nurse that was afraid of the Ouija board says, if you do that, I will fucking kill you. She's like threatening her life. And so she gets scared and goes away. So finally I just say, okay, let's just do it. And I shit you not, Clint puts his hand on the planchette and he goes, hey, demons, it's your boy Clint. And I'm like, and we're done. We're fucking done.
Not
That's
the demons.
literally the number one rule. There's a lot of rules, but that is probably a bit very close to the top. Like, don't go asking for demons. Ask and you shall receive.
And you just wanted to contact that one patient, see if he was still
we just
hanging
wanted to
out.
see who was hanging out. Like, who's
Not
still
a
here?
demon.
What's going on?
It's so hard to get demons back.
It's so hard. Yeah,
Guys.
you can't put them back. Do you know what to do? But yeah, he literally was like, hey, demons, it's your boy, Clint. And I was like, and we're done. Pack it up.
Because you come at it at a casual stance. Doesn't mean you're going to be casual. Okay?
No, exactly.
Oh
but that was
God.
one of the funniest nights. That's one reason why I like working night shift, because you can't do that shit during the day.
No, it's very too many normies.
You can't do it. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to get you a Ouija board, is what I'm saying. Here, your birthday's too far away. How about Mother's Day, since you're a dog mom?
I'm a dog mom.
That'll be the excuse.
Yeah. Everyone give me dog mom gifts.
Yeah.
I birthed her.
I birthed her.
I
She birthed that poof.
The sonogram.
That's so funny.
Calling all my dog moms. Where you at?
Holla. Okay. So we're going back to Scotland for mine.
Does it make you homesick?
It makes me homesick. It makes
For
me
your
homesick.
travels?
Yeah.
Aw.
So I've referenced this castle before. I think I mentioned it several episodes ago that we were staying in a haunted castle while we were in Scotland.
Yeah.
But I wanted to wait until we stayed there and experienced it so I could add anything I learned or whatever to it. So we are doing, I'm going to tell you about Tulloch Castle in Dingwall, Scotland.
Cool. Yay.
And yeah, okay, so Tulloch Castle, standing resolutely above the town of Dingwall in the Scottish Highlands. And this is like just a few miles away from Inverness, which is kind of a more major town in the Highlands.
Yeah, if you watch Outlander.
If you watch Outlander, you know where Inverness is.
Yeah.
So Tulloch Castle is a structure steeped in layered history, ancestral pride, and a deep current of supernatural mystery. From its ancient origins during the Viking Age through clan warfare, royal alliances, tragic deaths, and modern hauntings, Tulloch Castle has grown to be not only a site of historical importance, but one of Scotland's most actively haunted locations. Its stones seem to hum with memories of triumph, betrayal, love, and loss, stories that have not rested easily even after centuries. So we're going to go way back to the 12th century to start with the history. We're going to the Wayback Machine. So long before Tulloch Castle, as we know it was constructed, the hill it occupies was of strategic importance. Norse settlers who called Dingwall Thingvaller It's literally thing, VOLLR, meaning assembly field, held it as a place of power. The surrounding region changed hands violently through the early Middle Ages, and by the
God.
12th century, the land was controlled by the Earls of Ross, a powerful Gallic Norman lineage loyal to the Scottish crown. In the aftermath of the Wars of Scottish Independence, when loyalties were ruthlessly recalibrated, a stone keep was erected on the hill around the mid-14th century, sturdy, utilitarian, and meant for defense as much as residence. The structure began as a simple fortified hall and watchtower, growing more elaborate over generations as Scottish society shifted from feudal warfare to relative clan-based stability. A crucial turning point in Tulloch Castle's history came in 1541 when it was formally granted to Duncan Davidson through a royal charter issued by the King James V of Scotland. I was like, Roman numerals. What is?
girl. Don't quiz me on Roman numerals.
Duncan Davidson, a wealthy merchant and a loyal supporter of the Scottish crown, secured the Tulloch lands during a period when royal favor often decided the fortunes of entire families. Some historical hints suggest Davidson's acquisition may also have been in gratitude for military support, Davidson men having supplied soldiers for the King's Highland campaigns. Later in 1762, the castle and surrounding estates were purchased by Henry Davidson, another wealthy member of the Davidson family. Henry made his fortune in the West Indies trade and returned to Scotland with great wealth and ambition. By securing Tulloch Castle, he cemented his place among Highland gentry. Henry Davidson would go on to become provost of Dingwall, and under his ownership, Tulloch Castle was expanded and modernized, its defensive medieval form softened into a grand country seat. Much of the castle's present appearance is due to improvements initiated during Henry's stewardship.
Is the last name Davidson any relation to Pete?
I don't know. Maybe he's Scottish.
I know. Got BDE.
I know. Under Davidson ownership, Tulloch Castle is not only fortified, but transformed into a home worthy of a Highland laird, complete with a grand great hall, spiral staircases designed for defense, luxurious chambers, and even hidden tunnels rumored to offer secret escape routes to the The Davidsons' family motto, Sapienter si sincere, wisely if sincerely, perfectly captured their blend of shrewd politics and genuine loyalty. However, prosperity brought its own shadows. Legend suggests that a curse was laid upon the Davidsons when a laird unlawfully hanged a captured enemy in the castle dungeons during the mid-17th century. Whispers of unrest among the dead have clung to the castle ever since. I know. Throughout the tumult of the Jacobite risings, Tulloch Castle became a haven for secrets. I know every time I hear that, I'm like,
the Jacobites!
It became a haven for secrets, suspected of harboring Jacobite sympathizers, even as British soldiers quartered within its walls. So, like, they stayed there, and they were also hiding the Jacobites under the same roof. The combination of loyalty, rebellion, and bloodshed wove a grim undercurrent into the Davidsons' proud history. Following the Enlightenment and the Union of the Crowns, Tulloch Castle, like many great Highland estates, evolved from fortress to stately home. Victorian modernization brought new luxuries, plumbing, gas lighting, and grand social functions.
Damn, plumbing.
They got plumbing. They got running water, babe.
Sheesh.
Sir Kenneth Davidson, in particular, was noted for hosting glittering parties that still carried an eerie chill. Guests spoke of cold drafts in rooms sealed from the wind and unseen presences that seemed to brush past them.
Imagine, you're just trying to have a good fucking time at a party.
Yeah, you're trying to get
lit.
lit.
Little spirit goes by. Jesus,
yeah,
I'm
just
trying
like
to have a good time.
Shoulder checks you, makes you spill your drink.
I'm sorry.
Can
I'm
you not?
partying and you're not. Like,
can you not? Damn.
Excuse me.
I know, the audacity. The castle's fortunes shifted again during the 20th century. After serving briefly as a wartime hospital for wounded officers, its role took another dramatic turn. In 1947, Tulloch Castle was leased to the Education Authority and opened in February as a hostel for schoolgirls, particularly those from remote parts of the West Coast who could not easily commute. So I think a part of it got cut out, but basically it was like a wartime hospital during World War I and II.
Okay.
Is what it was.
Wow.
After the battle, or something that started with a D, was it Dunkirk?
Oh my God.
Something related to Dunkirk. But that sentence is gone. I can see there's like a section, like the paragraph shifted, so I don't know what happened. But yeah, I think the Battle of Dunkirk, it was like a hospital, so a lot of people died there.
Dude, yeah. So that's just, like we said, the walls have memories.
The walls, and these stone walls, like...
Yeah.
In 1947, Tulloch Castle was leased to the Education Authority and opened in February as a hostel for schoolgirls, particularly those from remote parts of the West Coast who could not easily commute to the Dingwall Academy, the region's only secondary school at the time. By 1957 to 1958, the Education Authority purchased the property outright, and it remained a girls' hostel for decades.
Hmm.
Generations of Highland students lived within its ancient walls, a life of study, strict rules, and ghost stories whispered at night. The castle's imposing halls and staircases left lasting impressions on those who called it home, and reports of strange noises, ghostly touches, and vivid dreams became a common part of student lore. Finally, in 1978, the castle was evacuated and the young residents left Tulloch behind, marking the end of its educational chapter. The last of the direct line of Davidsons at Tulloch Castle was Duncan Davidson, who died in 1917. His daughter inherited the castle, and it eventually passed to her son, Colonel Angus Vickers of Vickers Aircrafts, a major figure in the early British aviation. Colonel Vickers would become the final private owner of the Tulloch lands. After his tenure, the estate was transferred to the Highland Regional Council, bringing over 400 years of Davidson family stewardship to a formal close, though
Dude.
many believe the spirits of that line never truly left. A new era began in August 1996 when Ken and Margaret Macaulay, along with their children Emma and Kevin, purchased the Tulloch Castle. Their mission was ambitious and heartfelt, to transform the castle into a successful hotel while preserving its soul. I almost said perversing. Preserving
Perverse
its
and the soul.
soul.
Both.
Both. Their mission statement emphasized building Tulloch Castle Hotel into an efficient and profitable business, one that would characterize the best of Scottish traditional hospitality and food in a welcoming, family-run environment. Just as important, they were committed to preserving the castle's history and making it accessible to both local people and visitors from around the world. Thanks to the Macaulay's vision, Tulloch Castle was lovingly restored and reopened, not just as a luxury hotel, but as a living museum of Highland heritage and folklore. Its ancient stones now offer comfort as well as stories, hospitality as well as haunting. So a little bit about the castle. There are 20 ensuite rooms at the castle, all with period features, some with four-poster beds. There are a number of room options too, including single rooms, twin rooms, double rooms, four-poster rooms, and a family room.
Wow.
There's a room at Tulloch Castle for everyone.
Wow.
All of the rooms have their own unique character and personality, with sumptuous fabrics, soft furnishing, and stunning paintings and mirrors. Over the centuries, the castle endured periods of neglect and restoration, with expansions and significant damage from fires. Like, there was a lot of fires that would destroy
Really?
parts of it. Yeah.
Like
So what?
intentional fires? Like
No,
from
just and it like accidental. Nothing like
wow.
arson, it seems like. But I got when I was at Tulloch Castle, they had a binder the Davidson clan had put together, um, and it had like pages of history. So I got a lot of this from that binder, but that literally went back to like to 1200 to
Wow.
the early
Wow.
thousands, talking about the Viking influence on the land and all that stuff. I cut a
Mhm.
lot of that out because that's not
It's
super
deep.
relevant. It's
It's
deep.
it
It was
sounds
a
like
deep
yeah.
cut, but
Yeah.
there's like a timeline of things that happened, who took over, who married who,
Oh
and
my
also
god.
like renovations when the renovations started and
Mhm.
stuff. And I'm telling you, there was like 5 fires. Like there were so many fires. It was a lot. A lot of it has been damaged and restored,
I keep thinking,
but
like, the opening to Bob's Burgers where, like, the restaurant do you ever watch Bob's Burgers?
no.
Oh my god.
I
If
think I
you
would like it though because I like Archer, and I
yeah.
think that Bob's Burger guy is the voice of Archer
Yeah,
too.
it's delightful, delightfully weird, what a weird family,
Yeah.
but, like, the opening, like, intro or theme or
Uh-huh.
whatever, like, the restaurant, which is also their apartment, goes through all of these disasters, and they have to keep
Oh
having
no.
reopenings, and one of them
Oh
is a
no.
fire, and then they have to reopen, so I just keep imagining this castle, and it's like, "Okay, fire, grand opening. Oh, another fire, grand
Yeah,
reopening."
literally,
So
literally,
it's
that
like,
sounds like what happened.
"My god, get it together. Stop
I
lighting
know.
candles,
Yeah,
bro."
stop lighting candles. So it was rebuilt twice, eventually taking on its current form, a looming structure of stone distinguished by a series of dormer windows and a solitary turret, surrounded by a stone farm and an overgrown graveyard. And I did
Ugh.
not see the grave. I forgot that there was a graveyard there, but like it's
Huh.
not visible from the parking lot. Or we walked around the entire building. We walked around the back. We were exploring the land and stuff. But I don't know where exactly the graveyard was in relation to the castle. There were some trees
Okay,
and
oh.
stuff. I think they might have been on the other side of that, perhaps,
Yeah.
or I just didn't notice, but I didn't see any. I was
Well,
when researching this, I was like, fuck, because a lot of the Davidsons were buried there.
dang. I'm wondering
So
if they just don't wanna draw attention to it.
They probably don't. And they probably don't want
Yeah.
people just
Gallivanting.
yeah. But despite the wear and tear of time, Tulloch Castle retains several original elements, including a grand medieval fireplace and a hidden secret staircase. Below, a dungeon awaits in the basement, alongside the crumbling remnants of an underground tunnel, once thought to stretch all the way to the forsaken ruins of Dingwall Castle. So here's what's standing and accessible now. The Grand Hall, that's been beautifully restored with soaring oak beamed ceilings, a grand fireplace, and historic portraits on the walls. We'll get to more of that later. It
Okay.
remains the social heart of the castle, just as it was centuries ago. The main staircase, the infamous grand staircase where the Green Lady is often seen, still original, though carefully reinforced for safety. Guest rooms, part of the castle, have been renovated into hotel rooms, with rooms 8, 15, and others maintaining many historic features, stone walls, antique fireplaces, and notably rooms 8 and 15 are the most haunted.
Okay, what room did y'all stay in?
We stayed in 11.
So close.
I know. We were so close. Much of the medieval curtain wall is lost, but key structural towers and battlements remain visible, giving Tulloch its fortress silhouette. Underground, some tunnels beneath the castle survive, though not all are open to guests due to safety concerns. Traces of the original small family chapel exist near the graveyard, though it is little more than foundation stones now. And still quietly resting on the grounds, shaded by ancient trees filled with generations of familial remains, is the Davidson family graveyard. So today, I know, right? Today, Tulloch Castle is revered as one of Scotland's most haunted locations, with Scotland's own National Tourist Board describing the castle as full of character with its own resident-friendly ghosts and fine cuisine. They even named and I'm telling you, the cuisine was fine.
Okay.
Can confirm. They even named the castle bar after one of its most famous apparitions, the Green Lady. She even has her own cocktail. I will post photos. We got that's the only cocktail they will serve. You can get whiskey and Coke or something like that, but in terms of if I wanted an espresso martini, no, you can have the Green Lady drink.
Okay, you have to tell us what's in that.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't remember.
Okay.
But it was green and there was a pineapple, I believe.
Interesting.
It was delicious. It was a
Okay.
okay, I'll be honest, it was a little too sweet for me, but it tasted good.
Okay.
Kevin liked
you got the job done.
Got the job done, and we had to do it.
Okay.
So the Green Lady has gained particular fame due to a few hotel guests allegedly capturing her image. One of the most famous photos, taken in 2012, shows a red carpeted spiral staircase with a faint, transparent hand gripping the railing and a misty form stretching downward as though reaching for the next step. The image even reveals the cuff of a white sleeve. Look it up.
I am.
It's like, and that staircase is the staircase we used to go up and down to our room.
What?
Like, I have a picture. When you see the picture, I took a picture just like that, looking down the center from like the 3rd floor.
Whoa.
Isn't that wild?
Yes, we have to post this on our Instagram.
Oh, we will. We will absolutely post this.
That's wild.
Yeah. And I'll post the picture I took too, because I literally took a picture from the same angle. Like, I shit you not. But I don't see anything in my picture. But this spot is significant. It's the very place where people have reportedly tripped, just as teenage Elizabeth Davidson is said to have fallen to her death. So Elizabeth, oh yeah, we get to it. Her portrait remains in the Great Hall, where it is said her eyes follow you as you move about the room. And so when we got there, we asked there's a guy helping us take my suitcase up because my suitcase was 50 pounds and we had to go up that whole spiral of staircase to get up to our room. Yeah. And so, the lady at the front desk like grabbed, I think he was a chef, I'm not sure, but he'd worked there for like 15 years. Yeah. The people there have worked there for like decades. It's a very family run business. Like, they know a lot about the castle. So I asked him, I was like, I've heard this place is haunted. Like, what can you tell me? And he goes, meet me after we get our stuff up, get freshened up, whatever. Meet me down at the lobby by the front desk and I'll take you upstairs. And I was like, okay, I don't know what we're going to find.
Yeah. So
he took us up to the Great Hall, and that's where this big painting of the Davidsons are.
Okay.
And so it's the mother, Elizabeth, and 2 children. Or I guess they believe it to be Elizabeth. I guess nobody, but everywhere I've read is like, that's probably Elizabeth Davidson.
Okay.
And then there's a blacked out area behind her. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But when it says the eyes follow you as you move about the room, that is confirmed. None of the other eyes do that. The guy told me, he was like, now walk back and forth in front of the painting and look at the painting. Literally, it looks like she's staring at you.
Really?
And really, it's just because, I mean, scientifically, it's because they painted her looking straight on, onto the camera. Not camera, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that gives the illusion. But
Okay.
it's just knowing what happened to her and her potential like spirit still haunting the castle.
Spooky.
It makes it even more spooky.
Well, it makes me think of the
Even
Haunted
Kevin was a
Mansion.
little, yeah, no, really. So Elizabeth poses with her family, her mother and two brothers, while a corner behind her has been intentionally darkened to conceal where her father, Duncan the Stag, once stood.
Whoa,
The tale of,
drama.
oh yeah. The tale of Duncan's infidelity is tied to the haunting. It's said that Elizabeth caught him in the act with a maid in what is now room 10. Shocked and distressed, she fled towards room 15, but tragically fell down the stairs, breaking her neck. So that spot on
Oh
the
my
stairs is
God.
significant because that's where she tripped and fell and she died. Her
And if
spirit,
that fucking
no, go ahead.
man wasn't fucking
I
around.
know. And apparently he was known to have like affairs and stuff, but she like caught him inadvertently. So
That's so
I
sad.
know. And she was a teenager. She was a young
Ugh.
girl. Yeah. So her spirit is now said to roam the castle, appearing in windows and whispering the haunting question, why? The Green Lady is most often seen wearing a flowing green silk gown, hence the name, often near room 8 or descending the Great Hall staircase, accompanied by the faint scent of wilted flowers.
God.
I know.
That's so
I
sad.
know. And so they blacked out his part of the photo
Jim
after
Jam.
that. Yeah.
Don't put him on the ofrenda. We don't want
No,
to
fuck
remember
that.
him.
Yeah, fuck him. Another frequently encountered ghost is that of a maid who is often seen pacing, muttering to herself, and wringing her hands. While it's uncertain if this is indeed the same maid, the likelihood
Mm-hmm.
seems high.
Mm-hmm.
A psychic by the name of Rachel Keene described her experience with this possible ghost. I decided to have a walk down the corridor, and I became aware of the sad energy of a lady in a long dark silk dress on the right, looking out of the window down to the courtyard below, who was literally mad with grief, anger, and sorrow. I asked her name, but she didn't answer. She just stayed absorbed in sorrow, although she knew I was there. I stayed a few moments and gently asked her a few more questions, but all I heard from her was why, repeated over and over as she looked out of the window. I asked her if she wanted to move into the light, and she vanished.
Oh,
Yeah.
Elizabeth definitely cursed that woman.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's also the apparition of two teenage girls, likely tied to the discovery of two female bodies in the dungeon, believed by some to be the remains of nuns who were buried alive.
Are they buried alive?
I do not know.
They're
These girls are,
God-fearing women.
yeah. These girls are far less benign than the Green Lady. Several guests at Tulloch Castle have reported waking up to the sensation of pressure on their chests as if the girls were suffocating them during their sleep. And this reviewer on TripAdvisor might have had an experience with these girls. So my cousin who was sharing the twin room with me felt as if someone was pressing on his chest. I was woken by him ranting a deep voice, not his. After getting back to sleep, we were woken again by tapping at the window. We were 3 floors up. There's something fishy about the place, but we were staying in room 8, which is notorious for such
Oh.
things. Apparently, a previous guest had the same experience as my cousin. So, yeah, room 8 has that a lot. And there's a lot of and people have reported a lot of knocking on the window. That's like a commonly reported haunting, especially in room 8.
I hate that.
I know. And
Oh,
it's on the 3rd floor. So,
it's
it
also
should be
giving
no knocking.
vampire, not gonna lie.
Honestly, yeah.
Floating up to second
Yeah.
window. Can I come in?
That's so true.
It's giving
Can't rule
vampire.
out vampires. We can't rule them out.
Some Scottish vampires.
They gotta exist. Throughout the castle, the laughter and footsteps of phantom children echo through the corridors. During the boarding school years, many students spoke of unseen playmates, whispered nursery rhymes in the dark, and figures glimpsed fleetingly into doorways. Paranormal investigators later theorized these spirits might belong to children who died during Tulloch's years as a wartime hospital. Oh, and I'll tell you another scary thing that happened.
While you were there?
While we were there. So nothing really happened while we were there. And I could tell more about that. Like, not a damn thing happened. I even tried to summon the spirit of Elizabeth. I called out to her. I said, I'm open. Like, holla at your girl, you know?
A podcast.
Yeah, I have a podcast. Please help me. I need content. Not a goddamn thing happened. But so we're just exploring the castle at this point. I'm walking everywhere. I'm trying to open doors that are locked. I'm just trying to see where we going. How big is this place? And it was really big. So we go down by our room because we're room, and so we're at the end of the hall, and then there's a door to the left, and that's another hallway, and that's where room 8 is. So I'm in front of Kevin, and I'm going through the door, walking down the hallway. Kevin's behind me, and all of a sudden a door opens out in the hallway we just came from, and Kevin's still in the hallway at this point, and I hear a little girl go, "Hi." And then Kevin says the little girl walks from one room and walks across the hallway into another room. And I heard it. I heard the girl say hi. And Kevin looked at me like, that was weird. And he's like, she just walked out of that room and walked across the hall to the other room. And we are like, maybe it's a family staying together. And I was like, what was she wearing? And he was like, it looked like just a little dress and something. But like, it was so strange because usually you hear children in the rooms. This is an old castle, right?
Yeah.
So we were just walking down that hallway slowly. And I mean, I feel like we would have heard voices from the room because we heard the voices from the people across from us talking like quiet. They were not talking loud. They were just talking quietly. So, and I was worried because Kevin wanted to stream that night. These walls are probably kind of
Oh,
thin. So I was already worried about the sound because I could hear those other
yeah.
people. Didn't hear anything else. And so I don't know, like not that maybe she was just quiet and left one room and went to another family's
Listen,
room.
I
But
need
I
specific.
don't
What kind of
know.
dress was it? Like a bluey dress? Because
I
then
don't
it's like
remember what he
okay.
said, right? Like, I'm
But
like,
was
how
it like an
modern
old
was it?
timey looking dress? Was it
Yeah.
like a school
Yeah.
uniform?
I'll have to pick his brain again because I don't remember what he said, but
Tell him to
he
draw
said
it.
it seemed more, yeah. Can you draw this, please? It's for the podcast. Please. Thank you. But when I read about this, it made me think that
Yes.
I think that we might have encountered something
Because you don't
because
hear of families doing split rooms at
no,
one of
it
the
was like a
historical
Tuesday.
castles.
Yeah.
And
It would make
like
sense if they
did she
were.
open the door, close it, walk across, open the door? You
I
know what
don't
I mean?
know. Kevin just saw her walk out of the room and
Okay.
then walk into another. So I'm assuming she probably opened the door. I don't know if he watched her physically go in the room.
Okay.
So I'll have to
Okay.
ask him if he could see that from his viewpoint.
Yeah. Oh my
But it was super
god. I
weird.
bet y'all saw a little
And
ghost
it was
on.
when we were walking to go see the haunted room because I wanted to take a
Oh,
picture of the door.
I
So
bet you
that's what
y'all
made
saw a
me,
little ghost
yeah,
child.
that whole area is where there's a lot of haunting. But
Mm.
anyway, so that just reminded me of that. A YouTube user shares an experience where, despite trying everything he could, his phone and later his phone and wallet were repeatedly lifted from the center of his nightstand and dropped onto the floor. He concludes by saying, "This has been one of the most incredible and unexplainable experiences I've had so far."
Oh.
Yeah. So Rachel Keene, the psychic again,
Yeah.
also described this experience with a Highlander while sitting in front of the stone fireplace on the first floor. And the stone fireplace is there's these big chairs, and it's right across from the desk where the
Oh.
staff sits.
Okay.
So she said, as I waited, I noticed a man in a very dirty tartan walk past the wood paneling into the area where the stone fireplace is. I sat in a carved chair in the corner and soon saw the same man appear leaning on the newel post of the staircase, looking directly at me saying, "You'll no be sitting there long, lassie." I was a bit unnerved, but smiled at him. He gave me the emotional impression that I was sitting in his house. He didn't give me a name, but he was smallish, wiry build, long, straggly brown hair with a reddish tinge, long beard, and a dirty white shirt and tartan sash, kilt to below his knees, and ragged fabric or animal skin tied around his legs, and roughly made boots of the same. I couldn't even tell the true color of the tartan. It was so dirty.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought that was so funny. You'll no be sitting there long, lassie. I wish
Like,
I could do a Scottish accent. I
where
know.
what
She's
are
like,
you?
what the fuck? Okay.
Am I getting fired? Do you know something I don't
I
know?
know. I know, right? So other more malevolent energies reside deeper still. Hidden beneath the castle are secret tunnels unearthed during renovation work. Paranormal teams report a strong, angry male presence guarding these passageways, possibly a laird from centuries past, unwilling to relinquish his hold over Tulloch even in death.
Mm.
So
Oh.
specific rooms have become in the castle have become notorious. Room 8, like we've talked about, bed sheets have been tugged away from sleeping guests. Room
Oof.
15, yeah, soft whispers in ancient Gaelic chill even hardened skeptics. The Great Hall, where unseen footsteps echo during celebrations, and the grand staircase, where visitors feel unseen hands push them or brush past.
Hey, yay. I
Yeah,
think the most annoying one, don't push me. I don't like that.
don't
Because
fucking push me.
if I'll think it's someone nearby and then I'll start
Yeah.
a fight. What was the first one? I'm serious. The first one you said,
Where bed sheets are tugged away.
girl, that's what
Don't
I'm
uncover
saying.
me. Don't.
Do not. I have to get all the way covered
Yeah,
because
and like
you
wrap
don't know
it.
what's going to grab you. A
Exactly.
demon from under the bed. I'm
Yeah,
covered all night. And if
exactly.
a ghosty takes my blankie off,
It's
we're going to
it's
have
it's
words.
over for you. Yeah, it's over for
I
you.
would hate that.
I would hate that
That's
shit so much.
I don't even like if one of my feet are out. No, thank you. I
No,
wake up,
yeah.
I'll put it back.
There's not nary a toe outside the blanket.
How dare
Yeah,
you?
I know. It's
Cruel.
fucking the audacity of these ghosts in
So
this
cruel.
castle. So professional ghost hunters and amateur enthusiasts alike have conducted seances and spirit sessions at Tulloch. One particularly traditional method involves Gaelic prayer bells, ringing specific rhythms while chanting blessings to stir the ancient spirits.
Okay.
Recordings during these rituals have captured chilling EVPs, with including a child's voice pleading for warmth and a woman's sobs from empty rooms. In one especially famous 2014 seance conducted in the Great Hall, the Green Lady was seemingly invoked. Lights flickered unnaturally, 2 guests fainted, and one claimed to have seen a woman's figure by the stone hearths silently weeping. Yeah. Investigators conclude that Tulloch's haunting is multi-layered, a mixture of intelligent spirits who are aware of their surroundings and residual energies endlessly replaying their last tragic moments. So Tulloch Castle endures as a monument not only to Scotland's turbulent history, but to the personal dramas and tragedies that shaped it. Each stone in its walls bears the weight of love, betrayal, loyalty, war, and loss. Visitors are drawn not just by its luxurious accommodations or sweeping Highland views, but by the unmistakable sense that the past is still palpably alive, whispering, watching, and perhaps even reaching out. Tulloch Castle stands resilient and timeless, a place where the past is not a memory, but a living, breathing presence for those brave enough to feel it. And that's Tulloch Castle. Oh, I have something to say about the dungeon, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said that it's still there?
It's still there. So when you walk in through the main doors, to the left immediately is a wooden door and it says dungeon on it. And so we walked past it a few times, and after we're done exploring, I go up to the desk and I'm like, what's in the dungeon? Is that really a dungeon? What are we doing in there? And he's like, let me show you. And so he opens up the door, and it's a very small room at first. And there's 2 tables set up like circular. It looks like it's set up for a seance. It's fucking perfection.
Okay.
But it was for a dinner or something that night.
Oh.
And then there's another door up a couple steps, and that's where the real dungeon is. But he said he couldn't show me anything in there because that's what they use as storage space.
Oh.
But he said there's pits in the dungeon.
Where they would just throw people?
Yeah, where they would, I guess,
On
throw
spikes?
people in. I don't know
That's
if
what
there
I'm
are spikes.
imagining.
I'm assuming there's no spikes because he told me they use those pits to store the Christmas trees because they fit perfectly.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He opened the door and we peeked in, but it was really dark. I know, right? So that's a modern day use of
a
dungeon pits for
Christmas tree
trees.
storage. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it, because where else are you supposed to store them?
Yeah, where else? It fits them perfectly. They just drop them in, I guess.
Oh, dear.
Amazing. It was amazing.
My
But yeah,
God.
that was Tulloch Castle. It was so fucking cool. It was really pretty. We got there at 5 or 6 p.m. after seeing a bunch of other stuff that day. So we didn't have a lot of time there, and we left the next morning. But we had dinner there at the Green Lady Bar. We had the Green Lady drink. We had scallops and some kind of haggis thing that was really good.
Crispy thing.
And then it was like a beef, not pot pie, but not shepherd's pie, but it was like that kind of vibe. I don't remember what it was, but it was fucking delicious.
I bet.
And everybody there was so nice and so willing to talk about the history and their experiences. One guy said when he was in the kitchen cooking that one of his knives was thrown across the floor. He had a knife right there. He was chopping vegetables and it was thrown across the floor. Like he's just standing there and it's just gone. And then he had another event kind of like that. But one guy's worked there forever and has never had an experience at all.
Aw.
Yeah. But the another guy said that in the winter when they closed down for, I think it was renovations, they still had to always have somebody in the hotel at all times.
Sure, yeah.
And so they would do rounds and make sure, everything's okay. And he said nothing really happened, but he just had the most unsettling feeling at night doing his midnight rounds. And then someone told him, well, you could do those rounds at 7 p.m. You don't have to wait until midnight to do them.
It was
had
a
to do
part
them.
of it.
Yeah. And he was like, well, fuck, if I had known that, I wouldn't be walking around this haunted ass place at midnight.
Yeah.
But it was so cool. I highly recommend anybody in Scotland in the Inverness area staying there.
Yeah.
It was very affordable. It sounds like it's a luxurious place, but it was the price of a normal hotel room.
Okay.
And it was beautiful. And it's so fun when you're traveling to stay somewhere with a lot of history like that. I think that's just so...
Yeah, it's
it
reasonably
just adds to
priced.
the experience. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was great. 10 out of 10 recommend. Tulloch Castle in Dingwall.
Spooky.
It's spooky.
Spooky, spooky.
But yeah, so that was our episode. Thanks you guys for listening.
Thank you. And please, as always, if you want us to share your stories, please send them into our email,
Yep.
DM us. We'll read
DM
them.
us.
We'll read them. We'll give you credit.
Yeah. Our Instagram or in TikTok is at In My Haunted Era, and our email is our email is In My Haunted Era at fuck, I'm the one that messed it up this time. It's
okay.
In My Haunted Era pod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And please like us, follow us, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. Please make sure you're following us so you can get updates or new episodes download automatically.
Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like.
Yeah, tell us
right?
what you like.
We want that feedback. And if you want us to cover a certain subject or story, let us know that too.
Yeah, let us know. Email us, DM us, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Until then, we'll haunt you later.
Bye.
Bye.